Good morning, assassins. Today is April 10th. Looking at the overall economical calendar, so we could say prepared for the upcoming week. Today we have wholesale inventories. Tomorrow we have a Fed speaker at 1:30 and a Fed speaker at 6:30 and a Fed speaker at 7:30. So a lot of Fed action on Tuesday. On Wednesday, definitely want to say pay attention to the overall CPI information coming out at 8:30. Wednesday's a big day. We have two Fed speakers as well. And then not only that, we have Fed minutes coming out at 2 p.m. So that's going to be a major market mover. Make sure you guys pay attention on Wednesday. Thursday, we have PPI and jobless. And then on Friday, we have retail sales and a few Fed speakers as well. So have a jam-packed week, especially with FOMC on Wednesday. We could get two choppy days, or let's see what happens. But make sure you guys are very cautious, especially after a 3-day weekend, that we may actually um, wait for the volume, wait for the moves to come for you kind of week, right? So let's jump over to the charts. First stock on the watch list is actually Meta. This is the 180-day 4-hour. You guys can see Meta, beautiful um, step and staircase or ascending pattern going on over here. We went from 88 all the way up towards 216. If we jump over towards the yearly, 1 year, 1 day, you guys can see that clearly. This does look like it's gapping back up towards 224. So make sure you guys are paying attention towards that, especially with the stock pushing up like this, looking like a nice upward trend and basically a gap fill, right? So what levels are we watching today, right? Now we know that 224 could be the possible ceiling. This 216 was a previous resistance, right? Because we basically pushed up into 216 not once but twice, and we couldn't basically get above. So watch for a break of 216 up towards 223. 216 to 223. 223, we already know that's the 1 year resistance level over here. And to the downside, you want to watch for the break of the EMA. Break of the EMA is going to be one of your first signs of a trend change, right? Right now it's looking bullish because it's above the 180-day EMA. But if we was to break that, then we could start basically getting bearish. So watch for the break of 213 if you want to short it. If you're a bear, 213 down towards basically 209. 209 was a previous support over here. Maybe even get down towards 207. 209 is your first support level. RSI is a little bit more on the overbought side. Doesn't mean it can't continue to go up. MACD is holding the trigger line on the 180-day. So let's jump over towards the 20-day. Looking at the 20-day over here, same story. 20-day does look like it wants to cross down. Again, this 216 was a previous resistance level. Wouldn't be shocked if we do start to pull back. Make sure you set your alerts to see if we do break below that level, or we could possibly bounce off of this 213 level and then try to come back up towards that 216. So I'm gonna set alert if we break 216 as well too. So watch out for that. Next stock on the watch list, we're going to talk about Tesla. Let's jump over towards the 180-day on Tesla. Looking at the 180-day, you guys can see Tesla is on an overall downward trend right now. RSI is a little bit more on the oversold. Let's look at the 20-day. It does have earnings coming up as well too. So it has earnings on the 19th. So make sure you guys are cautious for that as well too. Tesla's finding support at 180, oversold on the 20-day as well. Let's jump over towards the 1 year. So looking at the overall 1 year over here, you guys can see that we rejected that SMA, and MACD on the 1 year is crossed down, right? It's going into divergence, and then the RSI has room to the downside. So let's see what happens. We are below the 1 year EMA, which is a bearish position. Doesn't mean we can't bounce and try to retest this level before we come back down or even break it, right? So there's always going to be rejections off that EMA. So let's see what happens, but definitely want to watch for the break of 180. You can see Tesla's down big this morning. You can see it a little bit clearer on the 5-minute. You can see this nice sell-off. So watch for that 180, 179 level over here as our support this morning. We may actually try to bounce off this level, right? We already had that initial sell-off. Now let's see if we possibly get a bounce. She's still sinking. Wow. Tesla, wait for me. But overall, looking for the low of the day, right? We could possibly sink down. She could probably even sink down towards 176, right? 176 is my target. I was looking from 180 to 176. But if we break 176 or we start to hold above 176, I'll look for 176 down towards like 168. So watch out for that 176 to 168 since she is dropping pre-market. Overall, she is oversold. So you definitely want to be cautious with a short position. I know Tesla's been selling off, but you always want to think about, hey, worst case scenario, right? It's not how much money you could make, but how much money you could possibly lose, right? This is a high risk short position. Why? Because the RSI is oversold, meaning we could possibly bounce any moment, right? So make sure you guys are cautious for that. Anytime you see the RSI oversold, we always see some type of bounce, right? So make sure you guys are cautious. If she does start to bounce, I want to break and hold above the 180 day. I'm going to jump back towards the 180 day from the 20 day over here. Sorry about that. So break and hold above the 180 day. I want to see us hold above 185. That's going to give me signs of bullishness because 185 was some type of support. You can see we went sideways over here. We bounced over here. It was rejection over here. So that resistance can become support, as you guys can see. So 185, and then we can start pushing up towards 191. All right, next stop we're going to talk about, and let me set my alerts. It looks like Tesla's trying to be greedy this morning, man. But let me set my alerts. But overall, let's jump into SPY. We're going to jump into the SPY yearly. So this is the 1 year, 1 day on SPY. SPY 1 year, 1 day is actually still above um, 404, which is above the 1 year EMA. So SPY, even though we've been having some type of sell-off from that 412 down towards 405, it is some type of basically bullish, right? RSI does have room to go up. MACD is still crossed up. Let's see what overall happens. Looking at the SPY on the 180 day, you can see we are having a little bit of a sell-off this morning. So watch for 405 to break and for the candles to hold below it before we could start basically going a little bit lower. We could possibly even go to 400, right? There is a support over here at 402. See, we pushed up, kind of went sideways, bounced up. So watch for the break below 405, and then we could go to 402, the next support down here. All right, I already have my alert set. Now to the upside, let's say SPY comes down, finds support, right? It's a little bit oversold, and we try to bounce. Watch for a break and hold above 408. So we start to break the 408 zone. Why 408? Because it was a support, and then it so happens to line up with the EMA. So watch for 408 up towards 411. Right, so that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys have a green trading day, right? Make sure you guys practice patience, right? A lot of things are selling off pre-market, right? But it doesn't mean that it's going to continue to sell off, right? Look at the SPY RSI on the 15-minute. Very oversold over here. We could try to bounce, right? Or it could be a choppy 2 days, right? We have Fed minutes on Wednesday. A lot of times traders, especially after a 3-day weekend, some traders are probably going to take it easy until they see, hey, what happens on Fed minutes, right? Is the market going to react positive or negative? So make sure you guys keep that in mind when you guys go into the trades today. I'll see you guys in the chat room. If you guys want to be in the chat room, message me about that on Instagram. Hopefully you guys have a green day. Later. Peace.